this one is going to be a little bit of a weird one for us because we live in our motorhome. So planning a trip, kind of a little bit of a strange one for us, isn't it? Because we're already on the trip.
It is a little bit, but we do still do planning. If we're going to go somewhere, we do actually check out the routes and the traffic.
Well, we do, but we will get into these little hints and tips as we go along, I guess. The only thing is please just remember that this is just our experiences. This is how we like to do things, and that's what works for us. Everybody's going to have their own way of doing it. But yeah, let's see what hints and tips we can give them. Maybe not how to get stuck up a mountain or in a field, or yeah. So I think the main thing that everybody, or we personally, concentrate on is mapping and getting to your destination. So we do use things such as Google Maps. Google Maps we struggle with because you can't put in your information, so you can't tell how big your vehicle is, you can't tell how the maximum speed and things like that. So it works brilliantly for us for checking out what's happening right there and then, but sometimes she takes us off a main road to save us 30 seconds. The other thing that we do use, and we actually prefer quite a lot of times, is something called Road Lords, and it looks very similar to Google Maps, but this one you can put in your size, your width, your length, also your weightage, so if there's certain places you can't go over the top, and you can put in your max speed limit, so it will tell you an actual time of when you should be getting there. We do also like to go old school. And we like to go old school because there's nothing nicer than being able to look at a map. Also, these do actually tell us the gradients. So it lets us know when we're going up a hill, down a hill, whether it's a single track road or not. Because Google Maps doesn't really give you that much of an advance beforehand. And we did find when we were going around Scotland, this thing was a godsend. And it was only $2.99, it was on sale. So yeah, I would definitely recommend getting yourself a map. Andrew actually prefers to use Plotter Map, and he also kind of cheats because he'll turn his Google Map onto Cycle Route because that tells you the gradient of the hills. Sometimes that doesn't work because they try to take you up hills that only bikes can get up though. Be warned on that one.
So after our experience at Cockbridge, we tend to check out gradients because we have a 7-metre van. She's a heavy old girl. She's old. And she struggles up hills. So one of the things that we do now, especially in Scotland, is check out gradients because we struggle. So I found a great thing, which is actually not for vans or camper vans. It is more for cycling and walking, but you can plan a route and it will show you all the gradients and it will tell you what the gradients are on the map, so you can avoid them. We found it a really, really useful tool.
One of the other main important things, so once we make sure that the route is clear for us to get to it, that we can get to it, we're not going to break down and we're not going to get stuck on a hill, we then have to make sure there is somewhere for us to actually park. So I think everybody uses it now. If you don't, one of the best apps that are out there is Park for Night. We love Park for Night. It's one of the apps that we tend to gravitate towards every time. Or we have a look on Google Maps sometimes, because sometimes there's car parks and stuff on there that aren't on Park for Night. Google Maps is quite a good one sometimes to just zoom in and you can check an area out. You can see if it's got a height barrier, because sometimes they have height barriers and you don't really know. The other thing that we struggle with as well is obviously we've got the dogs, so we need an area where we can actually walk the dogs. So city centre locations and stuff aren't exactly great for us. So the main thing that we would use is check out sites. Once you've seen them on here, go on to Street View, have a look around, see what they actually look like before you just rock up and hope for the best. Because sometimes they don't always work out. Sometimes you end up in there's fun fairs there, or they're completely full. Always have a backup plan. That is the other tip. Always have a backup plan. Make sure wherever you're going, you've got maybe 2 or 3 different sites that you know you're okay to go to, because you're not guaranteed to turn up there and there not be space. We also like to use search for sites as well. Search for sites is quite a good one for us. Also, you can, if we are booking somewhere, like if we actually want to stay on a site, you can look on, Andrew, shoot it at me.
Pitchup.com.
Pitchup.com. Pitchup is quite a good one. Yeah, so we always have to make sure we can actually find somewhere to stay. Pointless travelling there if we can't stay there. Another thing that if anybody watching our content will know that we kind of slip up on this one is to check to make sure there is no events, happening wherever you are going. So we look for things on like what's on in that area to make sure to just double check and make sure we aren't appearing when there's a festival there, or we aren't going when there just happens to be a carnival or some fun fairs parked and the only place you can park in Carlisle, that sort of thing. So yeah, so that is another major thing for us, is making sure we've checked the area, making sure there's nothing happening, making sure there isn't any road closures or big events happening there that you can maybe kind of want to miss if it's going to make the area a bit built up and you can't get your motorhome in. And now back to, I think, that probably our biggest tip ever. And every time we talk to people about this, everybody's like, what, you've had it in the middle of nowhere and you've had it here or you've had it there? Yes, we've had it at festivals, we've had it in lay-bys next to graveyards, we've had it at the top of mountains, and that is supermarkets. You can get a delivery of your shopping from pretty much any supermarket to anywhere. Like if anybody who watches our content knows for a fact, we've had them while we've been next to a graveyard. We've had them up at the top of the hills in the Highlands. We've had them while we were at the 30th anniversary show. They are perfect. For us, we're having to go and park up and find a supermarket, and especially find a supermarket we actually prefer, is a pain. It is not the easiest thing to do in a van of our size, with 3 dogs and with a grumpy husband who doesn't like to shop. So for us, yeah, deliveries. You want to get your food shopping, get yourself parked up, get yourself sorted, put a food shopping order in, next day delivery, you're done. That's it. Chill. You have to move your van. So yes, have a look and make sure you write that one down. Get your supermarket food delivered to your door. But yeah, they're probably the best tips and hints at how we plan a trip. So yeah, plan a trip and let us know where you're going. Might see you on the road.